Well, I'm going to get started back on the Galaxie. We got a little bit of snow overnight, and as you can see, and I'll include a little bit of video of the lights on the tree when it was dark out in the video. And a lot of that snow's melted out of the tree. There was a lot more in there last night and early this morning, but it just looks really nice. All these bulbs are blinkers. Some just don't blink as much as others, and sometimes they stay on for 5 or 10 minutes and blink for a few minutes and stay on for a while. But every bulb is a blinker. When I had them laying out on the grass before I put them in the tree, every single one of them was blinking. So I'm going step by step in the manual, and the first thing it says is to remove these convertible top support wire springs, retaining springs, which are right here, which go from that rod to here, and those springs are not there on either side, so I guess somebody took it apart and then put the springs back in, so I guess I'll have to find some springs for there when I go to put it back together. So then we'll move on to the next step. Step 2 is removing all these screws around the edge which hold that apparatus in, and I've actually removed some of them already. Some, when I repaired the quarter panel over here, I removed part of it. As you can see, it's hanging down in there, so we're gonna get the rest of that out, and I'm gonna make a new one of those. I need to get some bulk vinyl so I can make one. These are the screws, and the heads are all full of dirt and crud, so I got to clean them out so I can get them out. I got that one out and that one out, but that was it there. But I did get all the back ones out because they weren't full of dirt, so I'm gonna clean those out and try and get them out. And I think I'm gonna pull that panel too and get it out of the way. Alright, that piece is removed. Now you can see all the way up into where the back seat is. That vinyl on that metal backrest for the seat definitely needs to be replaced. So we'll do that too, along with replacing this. And the top, of course. And I got that panel off. And I'm about to take this panel off right here. I got to get the window crank off. You can kind of see how it's looking. And we got this panel off, and no build sheet on this side either. We'll keep searching around for it. Maybe we'll find it, maybe we won't. People tell me it's tucked up under the dash. I guess I should look there under the carpet. But anyway, we got this out, so I'm going to get this piece of trim off now just to get it out of the way, because step 1 is, in the manual, is removing all the trim around the convertible top. So I guess that's next. I don't think this is what they really meant. I think this is what they meant, because I think that piece was tucked under and it just pulled right out. But anyway, we're going to get this off. All the trim panels are off. This piece of trim is off. And see, that's the original, factory original paint right here, and that's where it was repainted to. So that was masked too. But I can get in there and lube up that window regulator now and clean this and whatnot. But anyway, back to removing the top. The next step, I think, is only if you're going to reuse the original convertible top, but I am going to do it. It says to mark, this is what holds the top on, and it says to mark the top all the full length along here, all the way around, so you know where that material has to go back when you put the top back on. But like I say, I think that step is for if you reuse the convertible top, which obviously I'm not going to do, but I am going to do it just in case if it does have some significance. That bolt looks like it's loose, it's coming out. I can undo that one with my fingers. So I don't know what, yeah, that bolt's almost out now. So I don't know. I think somebody's had this top off in the past. I don't know if it's been replaced. Looks like the original top. They may have undone it, taken it off to repair the rust over there, especially if they were brazing, so they wouldn't burn the top. So I believe they call this the quarterdeck, and it says to remove the front belt line tacking from the quarterdeck, which is those strips attaching the top to the body of the car. So that's the next step, is removing those. So let me get in the car and do These are all bolts in the trim they're talking about. So let me get those out, and you know, just where I just marked below it, which probably was a waste of time, but again, it says to do it in the shop manual, so I did it. So that is all unbolted. The tacking strip on this passenger side, right hand side, is completely rusted out. So maybe Bill or somebody, if you have one, I may need to get that from you off your parts car. Bill Lane has a parts car. He's sending me, I'm going to put the top down here shortly because that's what the shop manual says I need to do. And I'm not bothering with the cylinders, cleaning them, because Bill is sending me a set of cylinders off one of his parts cars that the top was down on, and it's a Phoenix, Arizona car. And he said he ran the cylinders up, and he says there's no pitting, they're fine. So he's sending me a good set of cylinders for the top, good used cylinders. So I'm not too worried about ruining them. They're not rebuildable. I already looked into rebuild, you know, resealing them, and there's just nothing for them. So they're kind of manufactured as a throwaway part. You know, you replace it, you don't repair it. The pump you can rebuild, cylinders you can't. So that's kind of where I'm at with them. Just gonna put a good use set. But anyway, this is all, as you can see, unbolted, and I think that tacking strip might be tacked to the fabric. You know, there might be a wooden channel in it because it doesn't seem to want to pull off. But anyway, we'll go to the next step in the shop manual. It says in the shop manual to remove the tacking strips, so I will get in there and see if I can get them out. You can kind of see it's stapled to a wooden strip inside this metal, so I'm assuming, and I say I'm assuming, that the top will come with the tacking strip attached, but if not, if I have to reuse these, I will. But yeah, I'm hoping that it comes with new ones. I'm not taking them off the top. You can see that channel is full of dirt, but it's certainly solid. And you can kind of, there's one of the molding clips, screw clips. Had a couple missing buttons, and that's probably why. But yeah, now you can kind of see in there. There is no way you can get to that rust there from in there. But that's in remarkable condition, much better than what I expected. So let me go to the next step. I'm just going to kind of leave the tacking strip where it is. I'm just going to stuff this stuff down in here. The next step is put the top down. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully it does go down all the way. I mean, those cylinders have some rust on them, and I don't know if the system's full of fluid. I know it works because I tried it the other day, but whether it goes totally down or not remains to be seen. But anyway, here we go. Will it go down all the way? Hopefully it won't hit the ceiling. The rear window just gave out. We'll call that down. How's that sound? Turn the key off. Wow, light in the interior now. Amazing. When I say the rear window gave out, that's the rear window. Yeah, I accidentally bumped it with a ratchet and it went through it like no problem, so that was in pretty rough shape. These screws here that hold the retainer for the weather strip are the next item to come out, I assume, because this is going to have to come off. So this is what the shop manual is telling me to remove. That screw's missing. or broken or something. But anyway, we'll get that off next. I got the screws out that hold this on, and I took a putty knife and made, you know, kind of slid it along there so I could lift that without tearing the leather stripping off, because it's actually below that trim too, the rubber, and adhered to the header. But there's a screw right here, and I can get it to turn a smidge, and I mean a smidge, one way and then back the other way, but I don't want to strip it out. I'd rather break it off than strip it out. So I'm just going to horse with that for a while and try and the one on the other side same way. I have another one of these, so I don't care if I break the screws. I just don't want to round it out and then ruin the weather stripping trying to get a rounded screw out. I definitely bit it and got it off. Like I say, it broke it, but I don't care. At least it's off, because this aluminum piece, I do have another one, as I just repeated myself. I've broke I think 3 screws all total in that. So far I'm down to 4 broken screws, but yeah, that air tool thing definitely assists even if you break screws, which is fine right now with this. How do you like that? That didn't even damage the screw head. You can see through it, see light right through it. Cleaned it off the screw, but you know, I mean, if I had to reuse that panel, I could easily drill it out and retap it, but Bill sent me another one that's off one of his Phoenix parts cars, so yeah, that's awesome. I have another one of these. The Magic Road King tool actually loosened this one up to where I can get it out without breaking it. And I think it's probably totally out, but just stuck in the rubber right now. Let me get something to see if I can pop it out. Yeah, how do you like that? It came out pretty darn good. So, yeah, I saw 805 Road King using one of these on his Ford pickup that he's restoring. And I thought, what a cool tool. Wow, am I glad I have that. So that is what I refer to as my Road King tool. So the next step in the manual is to remove the nuts that hold this on, and see how there's like stamped out of sheet metal nuts. There's some up here too on the other side. So I'm going to get those off and get the weather stripping off. That's the next step in the shop manual. I had to raise the top slightly to get at the nuts, and I can hear the top slowly going back down, so I guess I better hurry up and get the nuts loosened up. These are what the nuts look like. 1/2-inch drive ratchets. There's 1, 2. I don't know if there's one up in here or not. It doesn't feel like it. I don't feel one. If there is, I can't. Yeah, there is. It's right here under the top. There's one. So that should free up the weather stripping. And I guess I should turn that up a little bit. Now hopefully this weather strip will come off. just kind of loosening it up from the track so I don't tear it. That's just like a piece of other, I don't want to damage that, so I'm gonna, there. So that side's off. Let me go take the other side off. The top weather stripping is off. It is sitting right here on the back of the truck. Not using the truck, not going anywhere. I'm staying here with the coronavirus, just staying here working on the car. Any work I had totally dried up, so yeah, no income coming in, zero. And you know, I'm self-employed, so not much I can do about it other than just, you know, take it a day at a time. But let's you know, I'm going to spend as much of my time I have working on the Galaxie, other than when I go up to my dad's up to his house, or when I have to go to the grocery store, which I'm going to try and limit to once a week. I'm going to try not have to go to the store more than once a week. I'd like to go once every two, but you know, their supplies are in such shortage and limits on what you can buy. It sounds like I'm going to have to go once a week instead of once every 2 weeks. But I'm going to avoid going out in public at all costs. So we'll have some videos on, you know, like I say, I'll have a little bit more videos on the Galaxie, hopefully. Next, after the weather strips off, these are generally cemented over here with probably contact cement, but anyway, it says to uncement those, so that's uncemented. That's all uncemented. The other side was all off, falling off, so there's nothing to remove on the other side. But anyway, that's off, and we'll go to the next step. So maybe something's missing here. It says to remove the cable from the slot after removing the slot retainer. And do I see a slot retainer? Do I see anything on this side? No. Look at how I can remove that cable. There, the cable's out. There was no retainer. And maybe there's supposed to be something there. I'll have to look into that. Is there a slot retainer on this side? I don't see anything. Was that retained? Didn't look like it was retained to me. So that's off. The cables are off. I think I'll get new. All the stuff will be replaced. The cables, you know, I mean, it's just the coating on them's all busted. I don't know if that comes with a new top. May come with a new top, but if it doesn't, I will get new ones and replace them. Well, the directions are telling me to put the top back up at this point, so I guess that's what we'll do. I think we need some fluid in the pump. Maybe give it a help. I don't know if I can reach and I can see the air in the lines. It's just full of air. There isn't enough fluid in the pump. Maybe I should take I have some type A transmission fluid, which it says it takes. Maybe I'll put some in it if I can't get it to run back up here. Alright, I'm going to put a little fluid in the pump so that the top goes up. Alright, I put some fluid in the pump, so this is attempt number 2. You can still see the air. Now I'm seeing the air dissipate. Oh, yuck. I need to vacuum that out. I'm stopping right now. Yeah, but at least the top goes up now. It's just low on fluid. Alright, let's finish putting the top up. Alright, now I got a bit more mess to clean up on the top here before I turn the key off accessory. Before I pull anything more so I don't get all that stuff on the interior. So the next step was to raise the top and clamp the clamps. The only thing is all the interior trim and stuff is off that the clamps clamp to. So we're just going to pretend the top is clamped. And now it states to put these on. So we will do that now. That is where those attach. So these are in, and now we'll move on to the next step. You can see where I vacuumed. This was full of dirt, and you can see where I vacuumed it, kind of cleaned the top off a little bit. Now I'm going to undo the screws that hold the top on. I think it's these screws right here, so this assembly can lift out. I'm not, the shop manual isn't really too clear on that, so we'll take them out first and see what happens. The next step it states is removing these fasteners here. Well, that one's already history, so let's go remove the other one, which the screw looks like it's pretty nasty on, but let's go over to it. Yeah, this one doesn't look, well, it's loosening up. It's turning anyway. It's not coming out, so let me get a flat blade screwdriver and I'll pry out on this as I turn it. The shop manual states after removing these I can remove the top. Well, no, that's not. Yeah, I got the top off to, you know, I can get quite a bit of it off, but it's still attached here. So I went back through the shop manual and it says to remove both the front and rear, the nuts for the weather strip, which are underneath this. They're right there. So I'll go and remove those, and that way this part of the top will come off, you know, with this weather strip will come off, and we can get that part of the top off, and then the top should be off the cart. So these were the last step, but this was like a few steps back when I, you know, undid the ones for the weather stripping right, you know, the strip that was right here. There's the nuts for the strip that was there. So I guess you don't need to take this strip, you got to take all the other strips off. Might as well just pull it all off, and then I can paint this without the weather strips on. So I'm just going to take it all off eventually, but for now I just want to get what I need to get the top off. Now that the weather strip's off, it states just to unheat. This is glued on, so there we go. And yeah, that's still, well, I have to get in there and see what's holding that. That still does not lift off there, and it says it should lift off. Well, what the shop manual says, this should lift right up and out of there, and it doesn't. It looks like, if you really look at it, there's a piece inside this piece. This piece is screwed to this. You can see the screw heads down in there. And it looks like this little sleeve is part of, you know, what goes over here on the top, maybe part of the top, fabricated to the convertible top, but or is something to do with the top. But it this does not come out of that. I've tried, you know, just gently getting in there with the screwdriver and pushing on it, and I've tried gently tugging on it, and it doesn't come out of it. It's stuck in there. So I don't know if that is part of, I just don't know. There's no screws or anything on this bow like there was the other bows that I can feel, other than these two that hold this to this. So I might just take out these screws and take the top and set it on the floor and go from there. I don't know what else to do. I'm kind of shop manual is no clarity on this. It says once you take those screws and caps off and all this is undone, the top should lift right off. Well, there's nothing that lifts off about that top. So I'm going to get these screws out and we'll go from there. Alright, so that is off on both sides. And I'm going to take the top and set it somewhere because it states how to reinstall a new top by trimming, and you know how you got to use the old top to do some of the work to put the new top on. So I'm going to I am going to keep the top, and it looks like I got to get this spring off too somehow, so I'll figure that out too because that goes through the top. That's what hooked up there, so I'm assuming this end needs to come out too. There we go, the top is off. Now it looks like there's screws that go down through the top that hold this in, and right here, one on each of the other side. I'm assuming this stuff comes on the new top. I don't know, I'm hoping, but I don't know how you do these screws that go in through the top with the, I'll have to talk to somebody that does tops all the time to figure out what you do about those screws. But that, I'm just going to leave that right now. I am gonna clean this mechanism up and paint it before I put a new top back on it. And I do have, like I say, this is that front header panel. The other one's kind of really pitted on the front here, and I was worried that it might cause damage to a new convertible top. I've shown this in the past, but yeah, you can kind of see the pits. But anyway, we'll take care of that. I guess I should leave that down now that I got the boards on there. But there we go, a topless Galaxie. And I'm going to pull this stuff out, pull that stuff out, clean everything out of the car and give it a good vacuuming out. Vacuum out all these channels, get all this mess cleaned up, and then we'll tackle the rust issues. There's the wires for the top motor, and we'll look at all of them, make sure they're all good. But you know, everything looks pretty good in here. I have no complaints whatsoever about the condition of that. I'm rather surprised. I thought I'd be, there's the top. I'm going to put that in the back of the pickup or something. Somewhere I got to store it. Might put it up in your house, Dad, in your basement or something. This is going to be a while before I put the top back on, but you can kind of see everything. And down in there. So, alright, let me get all this mess. This is the old glassine window. Let me get all this mess cleaned out and vacuum everything out. And I don't know what I'm going to have to reuse when it comes to these tack strips, or what comes, if it comes on the new top, or what the situation is. But we will find out soon, because I am going to save these so they don't get lost. I am going to probably order a new convertible top for it this week, so I have it. So if the coronavirus gets worse and, you know, can't get it shipped here, or something happens, you know, I have a convertible top. So I am gonna try and get it ordered this week, and I am gonna get a glass window, and the top will be black. That's what the car originally came with, a black top, and it's going to get another one. I think it would look funny with a white top and a black interior, so it's going to stay a black top. So this is the tack. Sorry about bouncing the camera around there. This is the tack strip that, you know, held the top on this side. It actually bolts in. These are the bolt holes for it. And it is, yeah, totally rotted out. That's where one bolt went in, another bolt went in, and another bolt went in. So if this doesn't come with the top, I got to locate another one of these. So if any of my viewers know that have had tops done, if this comes with the top or not, or if I got to start hunting for the tack strip for the passenger side of the vehicle. So I gave the car a quick clean out just so you can kind of, I didn't go hog wild, but I did clean it out so you can kind of see the condition of the car. I mean, look at this. It's like brand new paint. That's what it would look like when the car was shiny green, when it was brand new. So all the wheel tubs, everything's in really good shape. That's like factory Bondo right there, and it's right on that seam. This is that seam I was talking about. So this is a joint, that's a joint, and there's a bracket up here that goes to the trunk hinge, and that's actually part of that bracket for the trunk hinge that you're seeing there. So I'm going to cut out, tomorrow I'll cut out all the rusted out sheet metal, but I can reach right around in there, all the way around the full length, even up in here, and I can feel the other end of those rivets, and there's nothing under there. I don't know what the heck, you know, I can reach up in this way, up to there, and there's absolutely nothing under there, so I don't know what they were trying to rivet, or if they just put those, I'm thinking maybe they brazed the hole shut and then put the rivets in there with something to try and pull the dents out. I don't know. The warpage, I should say. But that'll all get cut out tomorrow. And but before I go in for the day, and I think in the next day or two all this weather stripping will come out. I got new weather stripping coming. The taillights will come out. I got brand new everything. The bezels, the lenses. I got the seals for between the bezel and the body. So it's ready to come apart to where I can paint the back of the car. So you can kind of see it's in actually pretty darn good shape for a 54-year-old car. Top mechanism too. This is where this unbolts to change this front header. This is the only weather stripping left on the top right now, and I might take it, well, I'm going to take it off because I'm going to paint the frame, and I want the weather stripping off when I do that. And I'm going to paint all in this channel, and you can see some more of that body filler, and you can see the joint to where they put the body filler. And I don't know if they did that, that's the joint, if they did that to prevent damage to the convertible top or to seal it or what, but we'll get it all back together and put it back the way Ford originally did it. I'll put some seam sealer in there, and then there's a seam sealer, because this is one piece and this is another. You can see the joint right in there maybe, and they seam sealed it, and then there's a little rust hole right here. It's the only rust hole in the whole channel, and I'll weld that up so it doesn't leak water down in there. But look at how clean everything is. You can see the piston and the cylinder really well now. And so I'll change those, and I'll pull this stuff off and put new vinyl on there. It's just glued to there. That's no big deal. And this side, the wheel tub is nice and painted, and everything looks really good. The seam sealer is kind of ugly there, but it doesn't matter. And I think it's gonna clean up nice. I don't know if that I'm gonna paint this body color, but I might. When I paint the trunk, I might just mask off here and paint all this down in here body color too. I mean, if I have it mixed up and spraying it, I guess why not? And But we're going to get all this rust fixed. Then I can get that fixed, and I can get this all in red oxide, get these door dings, and get it ready to paint the rear of the car. And then I'll deal with the door and the trunk lid. And I don't think there was any door dings on this side that I could find in the quarter panel. That feels pretty good, but I'll prime it and sand it and make sure. But that's it. I'm gonna call it a day, and tomorrow we'll cut that out and start getting panels made and welded up and get this finished up. And then, like I say, we'll tackle this, get these out, and tackle all this back here. You know, all this needs to be sanded out too, as that's all body color up and under here, and start getting everything ready to blow some paint onto it. So there's the view without the top. We'll stand back, and no top on it, obviously. Maybe I should shut the trunk lid and get you a view too with the rear without the trunk open. There we go. Looks a little different without that ugly painted glassine window that was just, that thing just disintegrated. You just touch it and it just fell apart. Alright, I'm going to call it a day. If you like the video, definitely hit the like button. It certainly helps, and any money I make on these videos will go towards a new convertible top. We got to have a top on there. And if you like my channel and want to see this cool old Galaxie looking like a new car, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.